For Professor Dr. Koichi Murata, I welcome you and give the presentation. Please.
Okay. So
you have 25 minutes, Prof, to
25
present.
minutes?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. So I shared my PowerPoint slide.
Okay.
So good morning. My name is Koichi Murata. First of all, I thank you for today's the invited speaker, and I very respect this challenge of virtual international conference, and I appreciate for the committee member and staff of ICONETSI, including Dr. Tanika. So today's I talk about industrial engineering, our major. So it is a very fundamental topics under the digitalization or sustainability and so on. So today's content is 3 portions. First one is history of industrial engineering. It's just my opinion. Then second portion is ongoing my research. And the third portion is the concluding remarks. Keywords, industrial engineering, of course, the division of labor, value exchange, touch strategy, and corona. So here is our life way. So since we are born, we die via some stages. Most audience here will maybe belong to the third one, that is the adult stage. So, and at each stage, someone is supporting us. When you're a baby, your mother will work for you. When you go to school, your teacher will deliver some knowledge to you. And when you start working, you will work with your boss and the colleagues. And in the last stage, your caretaker will help you. As an adult stage, you have multiple roles. As a professional, you will contribute to some functions in the value chain and the supply chain. When you go home, you are given your role as a family member. And as a citizen, you play the role in spending a better daily life. So human beings play multi roles, whether conscious or unconscious. From the two slides above, we can find the following two things. One is that people cannot live alone. The other is that each person lives with multi roles. So Adam Smith, the economic of father, named this phenomena the division of labor. This is a basic principle for society. In this principle, in order to reach human life, we share what is essential for living and what is divided labor equal to work. Frederick Taylor advocated fair day's work. His contribution was the first to engage in work with a scientific attitude, and Dr. Peter Drucker evaluates his contribution to be one of the beginnings of today's knowledge society as the first application of knowledge to work. And then this effort is a moment when industrial engineering is born. Our industrial engineering has been studying many work principles, such as time, motion, quality, and so on, for the richness of life for more than 100 years since Taylor. It leads to the effective use of global resources, such as human, technology. Technology means machine, robot, AI, information network, many technologies, and materials. Then it is also widely applied in all society and the industries. However, even today, there are still problems between human and work, especially in Japan. One business person points out that he can't bridge the gap between engineers and workers. Especially workers can't find joy in their work. Also, medical doctors told that due to the improvement of development medical care, so team medical care leads to the simplification of each work. It means that the lack of originality and the decline of the ability to overlook the work. Here is a summary of a contribution and problem, the division of labor and the industrial engineering. For contributions, it has become possible to earn a living with just one divided labor. This includes deepening the knowledge and the technology of work and delivering products and service to someone unknown around the world. The problem is that three things have increased. The first one is type of work. The second one is workers who couldn't understand each other in the same organization. And the third one is workers who couldn't together enjoy the completion of the product with their colleagues and the customers. Industrial engineering are trying to overcome these reflections as work issues. So how do you overcome it as an industrial engineer? So as a suggestion, Adam Smith points out that human beings have a natural tendency of exchange as a condition for establishing the division of labor. People can deepen the knowledge and skills of work by dividing the labor and making it a limited range of work. However, if they are too hard about it, you will forget the exchange that is a natural tendency of human beings. Industrial engineering needs to look at this problem and tackle with it. This global pandemic by corona has claimed many lives and forced long-term economic losses. Lockdowns have happened around the world without face-to-face interactions. However, after the lockdown is released, people are eager to interact with each other while they are take care of spreading the infection. This was also an opportunity to recognize that exchange is one of the human tendencies. I think this crisis as a chance and try to learn from our daily life how to exchange in the future. So I tackle with research. This method, data collection and systematization. It is the fundamental technique of industrial engineering. So in the early days, when Corona began to spread in Japan, I collected the exchange methods that people developed from the news on TV and the internet. Then I classified them inductively and systematize catchphrase, strategies, policies, methods, and so on as a touch strategy of a concept level. As a result, I can organize into 3 strategies, 7 policies, and 50 methods. So first strategy is I touch. I means internet and is a strategy for stay home. The catchphrase is improving by day. Before pandemic, people, especially business person, were able to switch life rhythm by going to work and coming to home. However, after pandemic, people had to consciously switch rhythm, consciously switch life rhythm depending stay home. 3I technologies, that is IT, ICT, and IoT the base systems of these strategies. It was a production method that allows you to digitally exchange the feeling of artists and the graduate of viewers. Also, if you evaluate your work quickly and become a first-class artist, you will gain a big economy. I understand why young people respect YouTuber as a craftsman. There are two types of policy in these strategies. The first is a simple reflection of daily life. The other is a special arrangement that makes life easier. Both policies have the same two methods, such as a real division of labor and digital exchange. The difference between the first and the second policy is whether you want to deepen your daily work or you put something different in your daily routine for the refreshment of yourself. The second strategy is M-touch. M means momentary and is a strategy for stay home and keeping this social distance. This corresponds to a world where the frequency of movement has dropped. This tries to directly exchange the division of labor with a momentary touch. Both the time of delivery and the time of waiting have added value to the division of labor. The joy of a touch and the appreciation for the exchange have been found to be realized in these strategies. There are two types of policies. The first is asking to do logistics, and the second is distributing by myself. There are other logistics or self-logistics, in other words. In the method of first policy, there is a technique of delivery service and the shopping agent. The second policy is a takeout service and a receipt box. All four methods are the existing supply chain method, of course, but there are many new challenges everywhere in downtown. The third strategy, the last strategy, is R-touch strategies. R means right, and is a strategy for social distance. What people wanted to be was gathering correctly. And the most basic one of three touch strategies. There are three types of policies, and many cases of each one can be confirmed. For three types of policies, the first is about the okay. First is about the number of people. The second one is about the distance and the directions. And the third is about the defense for installing the wheels into the body. In the first policy, the method is divided depending on whether or not there is a reservation system. If you have a reservation system, you will control the number of reservations and the timing of reservations. If you don't have a reservation system, you control the frequency, time, or the number of people. The second policy method is a method of a queue, waiting line. It uses a variety of visual techniques. The third policy method is to prevent the uptake of wheels. It's about the motion level, such as hand washing and mask. Figure 5 is an image of the division of labor and its value exchange related to the three types of strategies. I-touch is a virtual exchange of multi-workers. M-touch is the one-to-one exchange model. R-touch will be the real exchange of many people in one place. These are the three patterns of the basic network model, and it can be confirmed that there are many exchange methods under the basic network models.
Excuse me, Prof. Your time is only 3 minutes left.
Last page. Okay. Sorry. Today's our content is that's all. So industrial engineering has been studying the science of work. The current problem, my opinion, only just my opinion, is that the exchange was forgotten. Corona reminds that the exchange is necessary for human beings and give an opportunity to notice many ideas for that purpose. In industrial engineering, one of the future issues regain human original tendency by developing the work principle for widely and the policy exchange the useful value of works to next society like ICONETSI. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for the interesting presentation because COVID-19 affected our life across the world. So the people cannot live alone, that's true. And the people also has their own rules. And this become our challenge as industrial engineers because this COVID-19 changed people's life, not only in the life, but also in digital exchange and also change how the logistic happening in the supply chain in industry or also in everyday life. Okay, I will open the session for question and so for the audience, you can ask to Professor Murata through this chat room. So you can put your question in the question in the chat room.
So anything okay? Anything okay? Not my presentation.
Yeah, everything is okay, but maybe this is the first time we
so
have
this panel session
online.
is human factor or ergonomics. Then afternoon operation and production management. So all area is in the industrial engineering area.
Okay, Prof. This is the interesting topic actually, because this COVID-19 affect all our life in industry, industry, and also in our everyday life. So I have a
I
question
have
here.
one question.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Nicolas
So
Simorangkir. For the news as the sources for the data collection, there is a possibility that information may be biased. This will certainly affect the data analysis. And then how do we ensure that this will not have a negative effect on the analysis later on? This, Prof.
okay. So nervous questions. So recently, Japanese government established Japanese government established digital organization for the organization for advanced digital technologies. So Japanese people are afraid to exchange personal information via digital methods. So you know, very if you okay. So digital exchange is the danger method. But if we correct, if use correct of digital method, it is spreads a possibility of exchange fields. So our industrial engineering polite explain that the possibility of exchange methods, and we install the success case to install the digital methods. So day by day, continuous challenge is people understand and correct use the digital technologies.
Okay, thank you, Professor. This is the last question because we have limited time and almost over. From Botanica, thank you very much for coming to our conference. I would like to know about the situation in Japan now during COVID-19 pandemic, especially about the physical distancing. Does the government release a certain regulation that should follow by the citizen? And if the citizen does not follow the regulation, does the government apply fine or other kind of punishment? Thank you in advance for your response. Please, Professor.
Okay, the relation it is difficult to the relationship between the government and the citizen. So in the case of Japan, so government strongly said that the advice such as a lockdown or social distance or stay home. Stay home. So Japanese style citizens think by themselves, and they think and act by themselves judgment. So European countries is government strongly control that citizens. So in Japan, government is just advice, but not citizen is finally citizen think by myself. So it is another strategies. So I'm not sure about the finally the result. Final result is don't I don't know the final result, the finish under the finish of a corona. So I continue to observe the difference between the Japan or another countries under the corona situation. It's okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Murata, for the trending and interesting presentation. So we finished the session with the invited speaker of Professor Murata. Thank you very much for the time to give the presentation here, Professor.